Wow, I mean, there they are. They as only the Cowboys could do. They start the second quarter, they start the second half. They're already down 20-9. Then they're 27-9, and here they come. Here comes the massive comeback, even after CD's hurt, even after Pickens is just out there chasing cars, just out there looking like he's in a different world, like he might have sniffed on something before he got to the game. I mean, it was just like, what's going on with George? Anybody seen George? Oh, yeah. Oh, George, by the way, we're down 14. We're going to throw you a deep ball. Oh, man, I'll get to that one later. Yeah, I don't, well, oh, that wasn't like right on my path. I don't think I'm going to cut back and try to catch that ball. Wow. I've never seen a man who was like universally praised and had everything going his way just show up and not care. Look like he didn't care. Now, Jerry has stopped short of saying that. Schottenheimer has stopped short of saying that. Dak did come out and say he didn't play to his standard. George didn't play to his standard, and he said he'll be the first one to tell you that. Good for Dak. Good for Dak. I mean, sometimes okay to call out a teammate. Guy didn't. I mean, he's been incredible, and he just kind of was lackadaisical. And I'll hand it to. I mean, Herb Street's not one of my favorites because, quite honestly, I don't think he knows the NFL that well. He certainly knows the college game, and he knows a lot of the college players that have come into the NFL, but I don't think he studies the NFL enough to have like great takes on what he's seeing. But he did call that immediately, that George was not competing at the top of his routes, and he was just not coming back for the ball and helping his quarterback. And you kind of saw Dak like, dude, come back, put your hands up, come back, try to come back for the ball. I mean, that was really bad at a time when you're talking about, oh my gosh, how is George this way with Pittsburgh and had all these problems on the field and hollering and getting in trouble during games and being immature. And now he's with the Cowboys and he's going to get this huge contract and he's unbelievable. And he still has had a great season. And he didn't undo all of that in this game. But what a bizarre time to do a no-show. Really? I mean, just, hey, man, I'm here in Detroit. I'm just not feeling it tonight. George, is something going on personally? You got an injury? Has something happened? Like, what's going on? I mean, no, CD had some drop problems. CD played beautifully, by the way. He had one of those scary concussion deals, had to leave the game. You saw his fingers do that weird thing that people that have head injuries do. Ooh, I saw it live, and I just thought that's bad. That's a really bad sign. It's a almost a automatic, involuntary response to having an immediate head injury, and they call it something. I can't think of it. Scotty, one of our concussion doctors from one of our neuroscientists from Ascension could probably tell us, but there's that little reaction that happens with your fingers or your hands when you have a head injury. That was bad. George didn't have any excuse. George just out there looking like, everything's fine. He just decided not to compete on this night. Now, Scotty, do we have, I was wanting to see if we had Richard Sherman's last night on, Richard Sherman is not afraid to go after anybody. And he was a guy that would get in fights on the field. He was a great cornerback for the Seahawks. He was part of the Legion of Boom. And then, of course, Richard Sherman went on, finished up, I believe, with the 49ers, if memory serves correct. Richard Sherman's now part of the site, the halftime and pre and post game for Amazon Prime. Scotty, let's see what Richard Sherman had to say about the way George Pickens played last night.
The big story here is George Pickens. George Pickens throughout the game, especially late in the game, just looked uninterested in playing football. And that's what you can't have. If you're going to be a superstar, if you want to be the best receiver in the National Football League, you can never be disengaged. It doesn't matter if the game's going your way or not going your way. You can't just disappear in these games or else you're not going to have impact. And just right here, cruising routes. You're the guy. CD Lamb's not in this game. He's out, and you get intercepted on your slant routes, and you can't be the guy and half-ass it. And I'm sorry, that's just, you can't, it's unacceptable. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys and you're looking at him and you're looking to pay him big your money $40 million, you got to look at this tape and say, hey, is this a guy we can trust paying $40 million to show up regardless of circumstance? I don't know.
Dazed and confused is the way he looked over there in that shot. Richard Sherman calling him out. I mean, I also thought the coverage units were dazed and confused. Scotty, let's see. They returned three of the one guy returned three of the kickoffs. His name is, I had it last night. Not a guy I totally knew. Number 85, kind of a stocky, bigger. He's not your sleek, upright, fast sprinter return man that we've seen a lot over the years. And, God, what is his name? Anyway, he had 3 returns against the Cowboys last night. And he averaged 40 yards per return. He had 42 was his longest. You got to kick it down there in that little kicking zone. They got the best kicker in the game. But that only matters when he's kicking those 63-yarders. You can't really do anything about the new kickoff rule. You got to put it down there in that little zone. So you just got to kind of pooch it down there. And he gets the ball, and he would just rip it up there to around midfield every time. Their touchdown drive, Scotty, if you look at it, it's like 50, 45, 24, or no, 14 on the one where they got the interception down there early in the second half. But it was like 51, 54, 49. It's like, wait, why are they going on these short drives against a defense that we knew was suspect? We knew they weren't going to like shut everybody out. Now, last night, they couldn't cover some of the same old things that would happen. I mean, they had no chance. Marquise Bell's chasing Amon St. Brown around. Really? I mean, like, what are you devising that ends up with those two on each other? And I know the other side can do its thing too, but what in the world are you coming up with that you allow that to happen? Just people, just an odd situation. And then Reddy Stewart couldn't cover. And then Siobhan Ravel, who's a good rookie, and I'm excited about him, had a rough game. I mean, on one play, he didn't really understand where he was supposed to be in the zone. And that guy, Taslay is how you say his name, the receiver for the Lions, just literally floated back behind him for the easiest touchdown you'll ever see. It's just not a team that defended well. They were on short fields, and then the Cowboys they couldn't cover anybody. They didn't pressure a whole lot, and they didn't adjust. I mean, one of the things, Scotty, that we saw was like, Detroit went to the quick game, and I mean, everything was just like poof, poof, poof. They didn't even do it with the running game. They had the one great run from Montgomery. I think they ended up 109 rushing yards. Not like they killed the Cowboys on the run, but the quick game, and they got like Jahmyr Gibbs. He had 3 touchdowns in this game. That's the most under the age of 24 since Barry Sanders. I think he's at 47 now. He's not even 24 years old. And in space, Murray was getting juked out of his drawers. Bland had no chance in space against him. They're not even, they traded for Logan Wilson. He's not even really getting to play. It just, at some point, if a team that the Cowboys have been doing a lot better with pressure, they were not going to have Jadeveon Clowney in this game. We found out right before the game. He was a game time decision. Clowney wasn't able to go, and they didn't get pressure on the quarterback. Well, why is that? Well, because you're 3-step drop and the ball's out. They're throwing to Gibbs in the flat. They're throwing to Gibbs across the middle. They're throwing, even when they got a tiny bit of pressure, ball's still coming back. He's on his back foot. He hits, ball's out. And half the time, Jameson Williams is down there on a ball that's just floating. And they've given him so much cushion that he's I mean, he literally, it felt like he could fair catch some of those. And Goff had a great night. Goff had a great night. Dak put up great numbers. I think some of this you could put on Pickens. It was not consistent enough. They're not good in the red zone. They have to kick, and they got a wonderful kicker. And that was the only reason they were in the game, because he made like 5 field goals. But if you're having to get 15 points, 15 of your 30 points via field goals, that's not great. That's not a great recipe. You say, well, Matt, usually if you score 30, you're going to be okay. Yeah, I guess. Not with this team. Not with this team. That's not always the case. And they got beat 44-30. They got, let's see, Detroit had 5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 2 interceptions. They haven't hit that level in a game since 2007. Oh, okay. 18 years removed from a game like that. And just the Cowboys can't hold on to the ball. You got a tight end who makes mistakes. He made a huge, he had a one where he hit a guy in the face. So they called that, and that offset a Cowboys penalty, a pass interference that would have put them down there on like the 2-yard line at one point in the game. That was the one, really big time play Pickens made. He at least ran down there and got interfered with, and then it came back because of something Jake Ferguson did. And yet they had a chance. They had a chance late. And they're within like 3.5 minutes to go, and they're within 7. That's like 40 to 33, 30. No, they ended up with 30. So it would have been, 30 to 23, whatever it was, 37 to 30. So it's 37 to 30, and they kick, and then the guy literally just, there he goes again. There he goes. He's going to run it to midfield on you. Like, how are these unbelievable? Every one of these players was great at the collegiate level. They got guys that are known for being special teams players. How is it you line up and all night you never make an adjustment? So I guess we give the special teams coach credit for having a kicker who's unbelievable, although I think he was doing that before the special teams coach showed up. So I'm not sure really if he's had anything to do with that. But from a coverage standpoint, just pitiful. Just pathetic right now. And it is frustrating. It's very frustrating to watch for Cowboys fans. And their chances, which could have been up around like 41 to 45% at a playoff opportunity if they won that game, go all the way back down to 9% or 7%, whoever you believe. Detroit jumped up to like 55%. Welcome to the playoffs, guys. Welcome back from the dead. They can get in there. They're fine. They're now like 8-5. They got everything going again. Cowboys missed a huge opportunity. Brian Branch got hurt. The really good safety. Their offensive line was banged up. I mean, Detroit was missing some players, and yet Muhammad had 3 sacks. Hutchinson had 10 pressures in that game. Cowboys had 9. Cowboys had 9 the entire game, and one sack, and it was James Houston, who, by the way, used to play for the Lions. James Houston had a sack. That was it. Didn't have a lot of pressures, had 9 the whole game. Scotty, from what I saw, Dak dropped back 54 times, 20 pressures. So if this does anything that you say, well, what could I like about this if I'm a fan? Well, it eliminates any of this playoff mess. And so you can get back to actually trying to view yourself for what you are and looking toward the draft, looking toward free agency, looking to see who you want to re-sign, everything over these last 5 games. How many games are left? What are they now? 6-1. That's 13 games, so that's 4 games left. God, they could have run the table. They could have run the table. It really wouldn't that have been something? It would have been fun to watch because they would have been favored in all those games, but they could not get it in Motown. And boy, we were happy last night to be able to bring you the Doomsday podcast. Very, very wow. It was one that ended up doing some really big numbers, and so thank you for that. And just a reminder to the folks that are discovering the Mosley YouTube show that you can also sign up and follow the Doomsday podcast, and you can give us a follow on YouTube for that. Really considered one of the top NFL podcasts in the game, especially on the Cowboys. There's a lot of them out there, but this one has a little bit of everything, including our former Cowboy scout and coach, Glenn Stretch Smith. And we want to apologize for his language last night. He was driven to using foul language. You hate to see it. You hate to see things like that, but it certainly happened.